Hi everyone, I'm Baz. This is I Sharpen, and today I'm sharpening some chisels. They're not in too bad condition. They're a bit rounded off, but they're going to need a new bevel and a new tip, and maybe even a little bit of work on the back. I'm not quite sure, we'll see. This one, a little bit rounded, but not nailed, not chipped. This one's got a bit of an initial bevel, a secondary bevel, but I'll take them all back to 25 degrees, which is standard for a wood chisel, and give them all a brand new bevel plus razor sharp edges. I'm going to do the whole lot in this video, so it's going to be a long one. You may need a beverage. And for those who are new to chisel sharpening, I'll try and explain every step that I have to go through. So first of all, we're going to need this jig. This is the Tormek SE77. There's a stop here. See, you slide the chisel in and you can adjust the angle with these two here. If I release one, you can see that I can adjust the angle of the, what that does is it adjusts how the chisel lies like that, which you may need to adjust your 90 degrees, but I'll do that as I go along. I'm going to use the marker method to make sure that I'm square across the back like I have done in my previous chisel movies, but I'll go through all of that as we proceed. So first thing I do is let's start off with the biggest, so that way the chisel job will get shorter as I go along. So it's going to sit on the rest like that. Going to pop it through there. Just release everything. This bit here slides along, so you want to have it so that it's up as close as possible to the chisel. I use two fingers here to push up against this stop. Make sure that it's square. I'll show you what that looks like. Right, so you don't want it leaning over. You want it right up against that edge. Right up there, and on the front as well. Then I clamp down this one first, and this one, and make sure that they're tight. Now, that's a little bit too far back, so I'm going to push it in so that it's as close to the back as possible. So let's readjust that. And that way it reaches down onto the wheel as far as possible. My wheel is quite small at the moment. I'm going to use the Blackstone. So I take them all up to about the shoulder. Using these two fingers again, I'm pushing up so that it sits onto this rest here. And that's a good initial setting. It's not the absolute correct angle yet, but we'll judge that in a minute. A couple of ways that I judge it. One is I presume that the side of the wheel is also straight. Now, if this was a bigger wheel, it'd be easier to line it up. So that's not going to work. Although, I do have to lower it down a fair bit, so maybe that will help. And I index the chisel against the side of the wheel as a good starting point. Right, you can see now that I've lowered it. I can push that and I can see that that is a little bit to the right. So I'm going to, that's because, here you go, you can see that if I loosen this all the way, I can adjust the way the chisel sits. Let's have a look. I'll loosen them all both up. See, that gives you that sort of movement. It rotates against this axis here. All right. So what we want is we want that to sit as close to as possible there. Bring back the back screw until it just touches, and then lock it in with the front screw. Then I sight down the side here. That's the good initial. Now, having done that, I'm going to take it out again. I'm going to clean the back, and I'm going to put some marker on here. I'm going to use my square to mark a line square straight across, and that way I can see how I'm going as far as getting this to be square to that. It doesn't have to be exactly spot on, but the squarer the better. Right, now, so first of all, let's see how flat the back is. I'm going to use my diamond plates, but I also have this beauty, which is the Sharpen. It's got extra fine on the back, 1200, and a what is that, 325 on the front. So I might use the 325. I haven't used this very much, so it'll be good to see it in use. Let's see how that lines up. Okay, let's get some visuals going. It's running out as well. That's no good. However, might try it on the 1000 first. Oh, I wonder if these fit in here. Well, they kind of do. Kind of don't. So that's the wear pattern we have. Looks like it needs a bit more work. So I'm not going to do all the work on the 1000. Turn this over if I can get it out. Put it on the 320. Or what is it? 325. And really bring it down fast. Getting there. Tips to go. Nearly there. I could start them off on, this is an 80 grit, diamond plate. You should be able to see the diamonds sparkling a little bit there. And that'll take it down much faster, but we seem to be progressing quite fast. Nearly done on this one. Just want to get that other back. It doesn't matter too far down. It just matters this sort of top section here, as far as I understand. Those who are more experienced in chisel sharpening should really educate us in the comments. Just don't be a dick about it. Getting there. Making sure I'm applying pressure right at the tip here. It's very easy to lift it, so try not to. I don't know, is that enough? I've kind of got some, I've got a burr all across the top, so I reckon maybe a little bit more. Needs a little bit more here. I don't know, I think that's going to be enough. I've got a burr all the way across the back or the front. I reckon that's going to be plenty. So what I might do is I might get them all done. We'll do a bit of time lapse because that's the procedure. I'll just do them all. I'll be back in a minute. All done. They're all flat. This area doesn't matter that much, it's just as long as it's all flat across the top. And yes, they could be refined and more shiny, but I don't think it matters in this case. The client didn't, he said it doesn't matter about the back anyway, doesn't care. So now I'm going to colour these in with marker and then draw a line with a scriber across there so I know whether I'm square. So let's do that. Start off with a big one. Don't have to go too far down because we're really only dealing with the top. And pop the square on and grab my scriber and draw a line as close to the top as possible. And look, let's say even if you draw a line too low, you can still get an idea. Your engineering eye will tell you whether or not that's straight or not, but the closer it is, the better it is for your eye. So that'll be enough for me. Oops. It's a little bit awkward. Let's try this way. Now, I don't know if this is the right way to do it or not. This is the way I do it. And if you look carefully, you can see that line. And I'll grind down to that line. And if I get to one edge of the line quicker than the other, then I know that I have to adjust. So it'll be down there like that. Sorry, like that. So on the wheel, if I adjust it this way, then obviously this corner is going to be ground quicker than this one. And if I adjust it that way, then this side as well. So you want to try and get it as even as possible, and you use these two little knobs on the side here to do that. So that's one. Ooh, I need a new marker. Okay. Now, scroll the line. It's small, but it's there. And this saves you from having to measure it all the time, because this is going to be in the jig, so it's hard to get the square on there in the jig without pulling it out of the jig and losing your place. So it's better to do it outside here. And this is, like I said, this is my idea. I don't know if the professionals do it this way or not, but I do. You can see that that one's already a bit crooked. See, it's a bit low down on this edge. So these are going to be straightened as well as sharpened. I'll try to do it in front of the camera. Okay, they've all got lines. Let's get ready to sharpen. Put this away. Bring you back up here. We'll bring you in nice and close if we can. That way we can get some nice close-ups. We've got 6 to do. normally I charge $25 for a chisel because, you know, it's a lot of work. I could have done 2 knives by now. But I'm doing him a special deal. And because it's fun, and I'm hoping that this movie is going to make me a little bit of money as well. So that's my thinking. Put these away. Oh, who knows what this is? Really good gear. Now I'll put this away, clean up a little bit, and let's get started. So the procedure is I'm going to grind them on here. First of all, I'm going to mark them again, this time on the face, so that I know how the grind is progressing. And I'll show you what I mean by that as we go along. So as I'm grinding, if I see that it's all happening on the right hand side, then I know how to adjust it to bring it over onto the left hand side. But we'll deal with that as we go along. I might pop them there. And this marker's got a lot more ink. Now this might be fussing a little bit too much, but people come to me for the best job possible. Now, that may not be the best job possible, but it's the best job that I can do. That's all I can ask of myself, is to do the best I can. If you guys see any flaws in my method, let me know. In a non-dick fashion. We're all here to learn. Since we lost Dr. Vadim, we have no one to teach us this stuff. So we have to do our own discovery. Damn shame that was. Okay. Now, I'm going to start with the most difficult, which is the biggest. And that way, as we get towards the end of the movie, they'll start happening faster and faster as our Baz fatigue starts setting in. Now, I'm going to set my angle guide to 25 degrees. Oh, not too bad already. That's 25. And make sure we've got plenty of water. So this is a long video. If you want to participate as normal, tell me where you're from. Tell me what device you're using to watch. And we're done. Only kidding. So let's just have a look at that. You can see that we're grinding pretty much in the middle of the face, a little bit of a bias towards this side. And also, another thing is I want to do it all on the rough 80 grit. We might shine them up a little bit later, we'll see. Because if not, we're going to be here forever. So the 80 grit makes shorter work of it. Not too bad. I think it has a bias towards this side, so we might have to adjust it a little bit. Yeah, a little bit, but we'll wait till we get to the edges. Obviously it's important that the wheel is trued previous. Now I trued this a couple of days ago, so it's still fairly flat. We're getting there. Let me show you. Now you can see that we are grinding on this side more than that side, so I'm going to make an adjustment now to grind a little bit more on this side. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to grab my marker. I'm going to remark the face. And I'm going to pull the wheel manually by hand across the face to make sure that we are biased a little bit towards this other side, which is the right hand side. So the way I do that is I unlock these and I watch the chisel move ever so slightly. Let me bring you in on that actually, because that's pretty interesting. So if you look carefully along here, you'll see it moving. See it moving? So if I go to the extreme and really lean it over, then obviously it's going to hit there first. We don't want that. We want to hit here first. So, and it's a bit of a dance, this. Okay, that's right in the middle. So we want to again in the middle. I think it's moving over to the right. Let's just give it a quick run. Ah, good. Now you can see that it's off to the right. You can see now it's favouring this side, which is the side we wanted. I hope so anyway. With all this backwards and forwards, in and out, side to side, it's hard to remember sometimes. But we'll know when we start looking at the back. And we see where it's going along that line. Yes. So I'll show you again. I won't be showing you all this on every one of them, but just for the first one, and then you can imagine what I'm doing on the rest. So we need it to come down on this side, which is this side. Hang on. Oh, well, let's have a look at that. I've gone the wrong way there. So it's already low here and it's high here. So we want it to come down on this side, which I think it is favouring this side. Yes, correct. Okay. Keep the wheel rough. Now once it's fully ground across the whole face, then we check the back and see whether we're square. Now we're having to grind on the back because we're not at the edge yet, so that must have been a little bit leaned over that way on the angle, so we'll get there. Come on, mate. Might put a drop of oil on this bar. Make it slide a bit easier. Okay, so we can see. Let me go back to the closing. You can see the shiny bits there and there. I can already feel a burr off the back. And as far as the back goes, how we're going for square. It looks like it's not too bad actually. Probably a little bit high on this side, but we'll know more once we've got a full edge across the back. What we don't want is little bits left over, especially on the corners, because as you're doing your mortise or your tenor or whatever you're doing, tenor, you want to make sure those corners are just as sharp as the rest of it. I can feel that wheel is getting smooth because chisel metal is quite tough, so it's going to smooth the wheel. Let's have a look. Okay, I can see that we need to come down on this right hand side in order to keep it square. You see it's a little bit higher here than it is there. That's my engineering eye telling me that. So it's coming along. Geez, it looks great, doesn't it? Still got a little bit of corner work to do there. This one's pretty much involved. So I'm going to recolor. And we want to come down on this side, which is this side. Who would have thought that this side is this side, eh? So let me release these again. And so I want to move the chisel like that. Yes, perfect. So you can see that that now has a bias towards the side that we want to come down, right? Which is that side, which is this side, which is the side that's a little bit high. So that should work nicely. And we'll see that pattern coming along as we grind. Keep it rough. Yep. You can see that it's grinding here more than there. So that should take it down just a little bit on the right hand side. On my right, your left. A bit squeaky there, mate. Much better. Although we still have a little corner on the right, you can see, and as I wipe, the mark sort of comes off. But if you can see there, you can see now that this side is much more even along there. So this is going correctly. And I'm just going to keep going until this black mark is gone from here. And then we're done. There's no point going more than needed. Oh, I reckon we're done. Nice, beautiful Tormek bevel. How do we go with the squareness? Beautifully square. We get both corners. Oh, a little bit left on this one. And in fact, I might just put a bit more marker on the top there. Now Phil, I should warn you, there's a dad joke coming. Speaking of marker, did you know that all crows are called Mark? Thank you very much. Just roughing it up one more time. I had one guy last week actually call me for his chisels. He said, mate, can you do chisels? I said, yeah, I do chisels. I said, but I charge 25 bucks each. He goes, whoa, geez, I don't know about that. I talked him into it. Then he sends me a text message a few minutes later. He said, don't worry, mate, I found someone to do it for 10 bucks. So I don't know what sort of a job $10 dude is going to do, but hopefully a good one. It could also be that I'm going overboard and chisels don't need to be this perfect. I don't know if you can hear that noise, but that's a lawnmower off in the distance, which is my second most favourite sound. Do you know what my most favourite sound is on a Saturday afternoon? I'm guessing you probably do. If not, I'll tell you in a minute. Okay. Let me have a look at that far corner. I reckon, there's just a little bit more needed. And look how much little bit more there is needed. So that's not too bad. See that little shiny bit right on the corner there? I reckon that could be a little bit better. This one is perfect all the way to the edge, and I can feel the burr right on that corner. I can sort of feel it here as well, but I just want to give it a little bit more run. My most favourite sound on a Saturday afternoon, or any afternoon really, is a light plane off in the distance. Like 5 o'clock Charlie. Who knows that reference? Okay, now, to give it a nice look, I might smooth it off a little bit with a 320. And hit it with my oak stick. This is about as smooth as I can get this wheel. That feels very smooth now. This also will finish off that corner, I bet. We're done. Oh, that looks beautiful. Slightly concave, which some people like. So what do you think of that? Nice. We get that corner. I think we pretty much did. Right, so now I have a burr that I have to deal with. Let's move on to the leather wheel. Once I release it from here, it's all over. So you better be sure. You better be Irish sure. Now, have to be careful here as well, because what we don't want is to disturb the back very much. So I'm going to mostly be doing it on the front here, and only lightly. You don't have to do much. So I'm going to feel for that bevel. Obviously I'm too high here. Once I feel that bevel, I'm going to stop there, and if anything, lean it up just a little bit. When it grips, then I know I'm on the bevel. See it gripping? It just pulls it forward. Nice. And then, in fact, might just give it a very flat just a little tiny skim. Let's move the burr to the back again. And this also gives it a little tiny micro bevel. Some people like that, but you know, very, very small. Let me feel it on my fingernail. That feels pretty sharp. Just a little bit of extra. There we are, that's done. Oh, a little bit of junk on there. Careful you don't cut yourself. That's added a little bit of extra shine. And are we square? Hard to see, but I think we are. Yep. Now I'm going to give it a few little pushes on the kangaroo tail. And that's done. That looks beautiful. Nice. Bit of a cleanup. You can see that little shiny edge. That's from the leather wheel. That just gives that perfect chisel sharp. Alright, so that's how I sharpen a chisel. Now, I don't know if I need to really drag you along to do all of these, so how about we finish it off with a time lapse? I think that's a good idea. No need to drag it onto a 7-hour movie, but I'll get those done. We'll come back and do some testing. See you in a minute. Okay, all done. In fact, I could have brought you along because those last three went really quick because they're so small. But they all come up really good. And an interesting thing to note was that they all remained square. So once you set one of them up, they seem to stay square. So that was a good thing. And I don't know if it's the black stone or what, but that went much quicker than I expected. Much quicker than I expected. And they're all razor sharp. I'll show you in a minute. Just clean them up a little bit. Okay. Bring them all across. Let's have a look. This is the one you've already seen. Beautiful. I'll test them in a minute on some paper, but just to show you all. Right, you can see that little shiny edge. It's been honed. They really are very sharp. And square. They all come out square, which is amazing. I didn't expect that, to be honest. As in, without adjustment, they remained square. So I suppose there's a reason for that. And even this little tiny whippersnapper. All good, with flat backs and everything. So, oh, well, wouldn't be a video without the Chillmeister. Chili, say hello. Hello. Up here. Yeah. Good lad. Carry on. Carry on sleeping. Isn't it time for your nap? I think it's time for your nap, mate. Off you go. Oh, you know what? Good people have been giving you snacks, so I'm going to give you a snack on behalf of all the people who have said please buy him a snack for me. There you go. Loves those. These are beef livers, right? So they're good. And what about, oh, because you're pre-sitting, we'll give you one of these as well. Mmm. They are the snacks. I really appreciate your buying him a snack. Very nice of you. Very nice of them, isn't it, Mr. Chili? Yep. Right, back to the job at hand. Chisels. So let's have a look and see how sharp they are. Right, we've already seen this one. But we'll see this one as well. It gets more and more tricky to do this as they get smaller, but we'll see how we go. Bit tricky. Even the little whippersnapper should be able to do something. So anyway, you get the picture. That is all my secrets to sharpening chisels on the Tormek T8 with the Blackstone and a dog. Thanks for watching. Leave your comments below. Would you have done anything different? If you're not sure what to comment but you just want to participate, where are you from? What are you watching me on? TV? desktop computer, laptop, mobile phone, cell phone, iPad. Yep. That's a good thing. So, now I don't know what you guys have been doing, whether you're watching more of my movies, whether you're watching more length of each movie, but my earn rate has gone up from about $5.50 per 1,000 views to about $7.80 per 1,000 views. So thank you very much for that. You're helping me sustain myself, and I appreciate it. So keep watching. See you next one.